Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to a special edition of Digital Shop Talk Radio, Wednesday, March 20th, episode 7, live from the ATI Super Conference at the JW Marriott in, was sunny a little while ago, San Antonio, Texas. And I am pleased to introduce, I've got a couple of great guests for you today. Talking about ATI, talking about how a partnership between AutoVitals and ATI is helping both of us to help the independent aftermarket advance. I got another special guest that just joined me, Jim Silverman, and he's going to be talking a little bit about ATI Super Conference specifically. But what I want to do is get us started off and introduce our special guest. Today we've got a great shop, a couple that owns a shop, Fix It with Fred and Jessica Guesswicki. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
And their coach is joining us today, Kim Hickey. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
And what we'd like to talk about, guys, is Fred, you've been with ATI, I think maybe 3 years now, something like that, and recently come to AutoVitals, and we've recently gotten our partnership with ATI kicked off. So tell us a little bit about how you came to ATI and how Kim's helping you, and how that marriage between AutoVitals and ATI is helping you to kick butt and take names.
Thanks, Tom.
Sure.
I'm sure most shop owners know you start a shop and you don't know exactly what you're doing, and you're trying your best and you're getting minimal results. So when you find a company to coach you like ATI does, now you have somebody to hold you accountable that can keep you following best practices in every part of your business, teach you what those best practices are, shoot you ahead on the learning curve a lot. So with pairing up with ATI, it helped us a lot to learn the best ways to do things, because they've been tried and true and they're always evolving. ATI's methods are always changing to help us. Instead of spending 30 years as owning a shop and being really good at 5 things, after 30 years, we wanted to master all of them. And then last year at Super Conference, I got to meet with Uva, and we decided to join up with AutoVitals and pair up with them. And that really moved our shop to the next level, where we've improved the customer experience. We've improved the employee experience. We've improved everyone's experience and performance, to where in the last 2 years, we've experienced a 42% ARO increase. And having a coach like Kim that knows, if I'm like, well, I've been too busy to call people back, that's an excuse. Someone that will push you to do those things you need to do and help you constantly improve every day. It's really been nice to have not only a coach that keeps me accountable and helps me with anything I need, along with the whole ATI organization to train me. We have AutoVitals with our team. Our product advisor, Al, has been a great help with anything that we can do to set up the AutoVitals system to help our shop, and then all of the support behind Al. And then Isabel's our web advisor with our website, where she's helped us create a website beyond what I ever expected to be able to make.
Yeah, I mean, you guys really, jumped in with both feet. And I know, as young shop owners, I mean, it's kind of a risk. Kim, how open were you to that? I mean, you got a couple of young shop owners, and you're in there and you're kind of getting them on the path. And here we are, we're going to introduce some, new technology to the shop. I mean, were you open to that, and how's that been working out for you?
Well, yeah, of course I was open to it. I mean, it's a perfect marriage between the two organizations, and one of the crux of everything that we teach and the best practices is doing complete and thorough courtesy inspection. So with a product such as AutoVitals and their DVI system, I mean, that's just makes it a no-brainer, right? So to be able to take the pictures and documentation and have your service advisors be able to edit the pictures and draw circles and all of those things, I mean, it's a tremendous boost for ARO and labor hours per ticket. And more importantly, as all of us know, at the end of the day, having the extra dollars that come in is great, but really that we're giving the best possible service to our customers, and we're letting them know exactly what the condition of their vehicle is, and we're upfront. There's transparency. They see pictures of everything. So it's a very transparent transaction for them to be able to look at things and see what's going on with their car. And then that enables the shop owner, their service advisors, to best educate the customer and let them see, here's exactly what you have, let's make an informed decision upon your treatment for your vehicle.
I couldn't have said it any better, Kim. So So, and Fred's had some pretty incredible numbers there. I mean, a 40% increase in ARO from when they got started. It's kind of a two-sided coin, right? I mean, hey, now all of a sudden we're selling a lot better, but now how do we manage that success? And so, Fred, can you talk a little bit about, how AutoVitals and Kim's coaching has been helping you to manage the success you guys are having at front counter making those sales?
I think Jeff could be better at that than I am, as crazy as that sounds. Will you take that?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Since Jessica's at the front,
Yeah, Jessica manages the front counter. She's a much better fit for that answer. I mean, I can give my answer, but I think she'd have a lot more.
Thank you.
How are we managing this?
Sure.
Managing the growth of the ARO.
Well,
Something I noticed right away is if we used to try and do as many cars per day as possible, that was the #1 goal before ATI and definitely before DVI. The more cars you get out, the more money it is at the end of the day. And that was a misconception. And when we started doing inspections and then went to digital inspections, you want more quality cars. Now that you're inspecting cars, you don't want to do one technician have 5 or 6 cars a day. I don't care how much of a machine you are. If you can do 5 cars a day, you're not selling enough work per car. And then your tech to advisor ratio changes tremendously. Instead of back before we joined ATI, we used to do 8 cars a day, 10 cars a day with 1 advisor with 3 technicians full time. All pumping out work, pumping out cars, no inspections, and then even on a paper inspection, there was not as thorough as a DVI. So we had to really look at our staffing model to make sure that we had a balance between the front and the back of the shop. It kind of defines, it gives you an accountability as to who's responsible to equip the advisor with a way to sell, and then the advisor educates the customer. So you just kind of take a whole different approach to sales. Before DVI, Jessica had to explain to the people what they need, explain why, and then build trust. With DVI, you're giving them a picture. They already are on board with what you're doing at that point. And yes, you still have to explain things, but some of the sales is the picture in the edits and the captions, and that's part of the sales process before you even talk to the customer.
Yeah, sure.
I think too, really help manage expectations for both the shop and the customer, and being able to look at your stuff from the AutoVitals and see this technician's been on this X amount of minutes, this is how long it's taking them and all. It really help, I think, puts it in perspective of how long each of these jobs actually do take versus what do we think they should. What technicians, it helps point out are better at things, or they're more efficient with it, looking at the numbers and the amount of time. And so when you're giving that expectation to the customers, you're really knowing that, yes, I will have this done at this time, because you have data backing up how long these jobs are taking. And I think also helping like packaging around a request too, and working with the jobs when you're making the recommendations that make sense, that go together, and making those kind of recommendations, that really helps a lot with that whole piece of it, of time management, of efficiency. We're in the same place, we might as well be doing this. So it makes a better experience for the front as well as the customer. Makes it more seamless, I think.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And like they say, if you can measure it, you can fix it. And through our partnership, we really built our business control panel and our metrics reports, with the ATI in mind, right? Through the partnership. And so, how are you using the business control panel to kind of measure what Fred and Jessica are doing? And is that helping you, Kim, to give them a better insight and better direction moving forward?
Well, sure. I mean, like I said, if we can measure it, we can manage it. Chubby loves that saying, too. So any of the numbers and the KPIs that we can be looking at, and how many times people are looking at your pictures, and how many pictures even the technicians are taking versus what the service advisors are editing, all of those numbers, help with seeing a true picture of what's really going on. Because a lot of times when you're talking to a client, Fred and Jessica are not like this, but they'll say, oh yes, we're doing these, we're doing them thoroughly, we're sending them out. And so the control panel allows us to see, really, is that what's going on? Is that really happening? Or are they just saying like, yes, we sent a bunch out? So it helps a lot with that. And I think Jessica had something to add about.
Well, to echo, on the previous question that you had, of course, I'm going to echo definitely what Kim and Fred said, but it also takes that a step further when it goes into staffing, you know, you'll get to see as far as how long it's taking them, like Kim was saying, how long it's taking them on jobs, and it'll see where you are lacking in deficiencies. Are you needing more staff?
Yeah.
You know, are you overloaded? You know, but there you know how many cars you're going to need. You know, we're like Fred was saying, you know, we used to just bring in 8, 9, 10 cars a day, and you're not doing thorough inspections, and now we're doing thorough inspections, and we know how many cars to bring in. Well, once you've maximized that process and you see how long it's taken these cars, well, now you know when to bring in more staff.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a good tool to use also.
Exactly. And then it's going to give you a better customer service experience.
Absolutely.
Right? You deliver on time, you're transparent, and, you know, guys, you know, people say, hey, why would I go anywhere else? You know, Jessica takes care of me. I'm back there for all my, you know, repair needs and maintenance needs on my vehicle, and bringing in more cars.
Right.
All my cars.
Tom, on the subject of the BCP, we have the ATI portal where we have reports. We report every week, and it's all your numbers down to your net profit. And then with the BCP, that's more of like a live. You can look at currently what's going on. You can look at what happened yesterday, or you can look at an entire year. So I like to use the two tools together, kind of like having a weekly meeting with each employee versus having a morning huddle with your team. The morning huddle is about what's going on today. That weekly meeting with an employee is more of like a goal setting, big picture. And I see that with the ATI portal, we get that weekly input of data to see how we're operating. But we can always, as the week goes, every day log in, look right at the BCP, see how yesterday was, look at a 5-day average, or look at an entire year. I was looking at our website growth the other day and looking on the BCP. I could see how the website hits has gone up. And when I did AdWords, I could see how that affected our visibility online and our ARO all at one time. It brings me to a spot where I can go to my ATI reports and look at my labor costs. You know, I can look at my fixed expense, and that way I can put everything together between live and full-term reporting to make sure I know my path where I want to go and if I'm achieving my goals.
So let me ask you, so in that data, I mean, it's a lot of data, right? And like you said, you can see it in real time, and it can tell you, it could actually tell you what's going to happen, right? You just keep doing it like this, I can probably assume that my sales or my performance is going to be just like this tomorrow and next week. And unless I take action to change that. But what's been maybe the biggest surprise or insight that you've gotten out of being able to see that level of data inside of the business control panel?
Something that jumps out at me is I noticed as the research inspection time goes up, the retention rate goes up. And first time customer return rate goes, it seems like everything trends all together. So if we can turn one KPI up and a higher trend up, that will affect the other ones. And another thing I like is that I can tie the technician's actions, I can tie the advisor's actions, the customer actions, the website actions all together and see. I was looking at our ARO took a dive in December, and the most interesting thing, it was an anomaly where research time stayed the exact same. Pictures were the same, suggested jobs were the same, ARO went down, I zoomed in, that'd be the week of Christmas. Now I know why that happened. But I was able to identify on a graph exactly where there was a problem so I could nail down and see exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So that was neat to me also, Tom.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And that gives you an idea where to start. And like you said, in that weekly huddle, in that weekly meeting you're having, you're talking data. You get to take all the emotion out of that meeting. You get to set a goal, show people where they are in relation to that goal, and then motivate them to achieve their goal and to get to that level. It doesn't have to be a negative meeting. It can be very positive and everybody working together to build that teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
So Kim, if you know, we've got folks in the audience here today, I mean, what would you say to them if somebody was considering, hey, you know, I just haven't been putting all of my pieces together. Gosh, I'd like some help. What would you say to folks that might be thinking about coming and seeing you at ATI?
Oh, I mean, they definitely need to be, anybody that's not using a DVI right now, I mean, it's just a must. If you look at any of the other industries, what they do with pictures, I mean, real estate agents, when you put cars for sale and anything else, I mean, the picture just makes all the difference in the world, and helps really levels the playing field. So, you know, with the DVIs, like if a customer doesn't understand what is a, you know, torn CV boot or anything else, if you show them a picture, it levels the field. It doesn't matter if they were a technician or they have, you know, they're mechanically inclined, you can visually see what's going on. So I would say anybody that is not doing it needs to immediately, for sure.
Good. And then what about if they need some help outside of that? If they just need general business help? I mean, what would you say is a primary candidate to join ATI and to be lucky enough to have somebody like Kim Hickey as their coach?
You know, anybody truly that wants to be better. You know, if you talk about any of the cliches, I mean, golfers, professional golfers, basketball players, football players, they're training every day. They all have coaches. Some of them have multiple coaches. I mean, there's just a tremendous opportunity when you join ATI to be able to improve your business, because you have to make the transition first and foremost of becoming the, let's say, worker bee, from being the, whether you're the technician or the service advisor or whatever you were, to now becoming a business owner. And just that transition of mindset is huge, and most people don't realize how much is even entailed in that. I mean, that's the first step, is you have to have a whole different set of eyes looking at it. And there's so many things that are evolving. And, you know, one of the great things about ATI, I mean, we have a minimum of probably 1,600 chops in the program at any given time. We have 30 something full-time coaches. This is what we do. This is what we study. We're not doing this part-time to try to help somebody out. I mean, we're professionals, and we have data of thousands of shops and trends over the industry over the years, and to be able to coach our members and let them know, here's what's coming next. This is what you need to be aware of. Here's the trends that's happening in the industry. And I think, you know, for anybody, it's accountability. It's like anything else. We all know a lot of things we're supposed to be doing, but having somebody to constantly be supporting you to do it and keeping you on the right track and not letting you fall behind. Because most business owners, and especially in our industry, when they kind of get a little bit comfortable and things are not on fire anymore, that's when they start to actually slide back. I mean, we can see the numbers when they're no longer in immediate pain. It's like, oh, okay, I can take my foot off the gas. I can, you know, relax a little. And so we're here to make sure that you keep going and keep growing, because if you're not growing, you're going backwards, right? I mean, it's as simple as that.
Exactly. Whip them into shape and then make sure that they stay on track.
It's the staying on the track. The whipping into shape, believe it or not, is the easy part. It's the keeping it and the maintenance, like anything else.
Yeah, and if you're looking to join ATI, I mean, you're joining the elite of the elite, and you get experiences like you just heard from Fred and Jessica, newer shop owners. I mean, making the right decision early in their business career to say, we're going to go with the best. And you get experience from people like this gentleman who just sat down next to me, Dave Murphy, who's a top shop in the nation. Dave,
Hi, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. Dave Murphy. I'm from Beaver Creek, Ohio, along with my wife, Jan. And we have been ATI clients, I believe, a little over 15 years. And, of course, been partnered with AutoVitals pushing about 5 years right now. So just two amazing companies that have helped us achieve our dreams, our goals. And to your point, Kim, I've had a few of those cycles, both of us, where we got kind of feeling pretty good about our business and things got rock and roll, but you know, we realized we had to get our foot back on the gas, and we just never take it off anymore, because that's the only way to stay ahead, stay successful. But we truly do that with the help of both of your companies.
Yeah, and things in the industry are moving so fast now that you got to keep your foot on the throttle. And you know, companies like ATI and AutoVitals, it's our job to stay out there ahead of the curve, make sure that the road's clear so that you can power around those corners.
Yeah, it's a very changing landscape. I'll say that.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, it's, you know, it's just not what it used to be. This is my 42nd year in the industry as an automotive service provider, and I find it far more exciting now. And got to also keep taking my vitamins so I stay up with it.
Well, and that's the thing.
Hey, Dave, it helps you're from Ohio. Am I right?
It does, because you're frozen for 4 months. Of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
We're good at healing.
But all that experience in the industry and out here still learning, you know, and and enjoying a great company, a great shops in a beautiful environment like this. And we're really excited to be out here again this year and to meet, you know, like I said, the best of the best.
Well, I'm glad you just brought up about still learning. The minute I run into somebody from anywhere that says, oh, I could teach that class, I could do that, whatever.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, because it's a sad day when anybody feels like that they know more than everybody else and there's not one thing that they can learn new. I
Yep.
feel sorry for them. So
Isn't that something?
definitely have to keep learning, keep growing, keep trying, and just, you can't take your foot off the gas.
You know, maybe Fred and Jessica buy their shop cheap.
What'd you say, Tom?
I said maybe you just buy their shop cheap. The ones you don't want to learn, you just go in and scoop them up, and then
Yes,
Right,
swoop them
yeah,
up.
yeah.
and Fred gets week, he takes it to the next level.
Well, you know, unfortunately for our industry, that's happening. It's happening at a really rapid pace. Yeah, we're seeing it in our market. I'm sure most of you that are listening are seeing it too. Folks are just not willing to keep up with it, and there's some great opportunities out there. So we're all looking forward to it.
Fantastic, sir.
Hey, I gotta run. Good seeing
I
you, Tom.
appreciate you stopping by.
Good seeing you, Ken. You guys take care. My pleasure.
Nice to see you.
Yep,
See
we're in
you
sunshine.
at the orientation.
Yeah, see you in an hour.
Yes. We'll see you in orientation. So, Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about Super Conference and what are we doing out here in Texas?
Well, first of all, we're having a great time. Super Conference is an annual thing at ATI. We bring in about 250 shops, 600 people that are all either owners or spouses or second in commands. And we put on 4 days of phenomenal speakers. This year, our speakers are people that we brought in from around the country, people that are helping our shops. We're doing a lot of stuff with M&A now, mergers and acquisitions, growing your business and getting to 2 and 3 and 10 shops, multi-locations. A lot of things are going on about transitioning and second in command. So we're going to see some stuff, and we tied in some of our speakers that are coming from around the country, along with some of our members to say how they've done it. Fred's going to be doing a round table, I think, on Thursday or Friday, that is about hiring people and staffing, if I recall correctly. Judy Haglund's going to be doing one about how she's done it and where things are coming from. And so we've got that. On Friday, we've got some vendor roundtables. Tom's going to do one about digital inspections and about moving your shop to the next level. We have a trade show with 32 selected vendors, and these are vendors that come from different areas of the automotive field to help our members improve their business. So it's things that they can do. And that's really how we first got started with AutoVitals, is because, you know, we knew that we needed to talk about digital inspections with our clients. And so we brought AutoVitals in to be a preferred supplier for our DVI and to show our clients. And it's really important. And I want to say thank you. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome, buddy. Thank you.
AutoVitals is one of our sponsors, and we have a good time. They will be doing, they've got a very large double wide booth at the trade show. And so it's going to be good. That's not for Tom to be double wide.
It's not a double wide trailer.
It is not a double wide trailer. But we have a really good time. And at ATI, you know, we've got 32 coaches on the mechanical side and 4 on the collision side. And so I think 28 of them are here at Super Conference. Somebody had to stay back and run the office. But it's all about how to improve things and run it. And we do really have a good time. And so we really appreciate everybody. And if y'all want to talk about coaching or how to get involved with ATI, just give us a call and say, hey, I want to learn more. And what's really cool is that we take a product like the DVI and like your website and like your CRM, and we help and add that into what you're doing in your shop. It's one more way to make you more productive. And so when our coaches get together with the shop owner, and as they're doing their coaching every week and looking at all the metrics, they'll say, how can we improve this part? And that's where we bring in somebody like AutoVitals. So thanks a lot. I said more than I was going to.
Yeah, you did great, buddy. That's
but
what I had you
it's
on
all
here
great
for.
things. And, love it. I'm looking forward to Fred's roundtable.
Yeah, me too. Because, you know, Jimmy nailed it right there. It's not just about coaching to help you operate. It's really the total package when you come to ATI. And you're going to learn things that are going to help you be a better business owner and more comprehensively in the plan for the future for your success, not just, you know, make it through the day. And so you get fine folks like Kim, and I mean, you can hear it right from Fred and Jessica. I mean, new folks into the industry, and it's really, I mean, you hear the excitement, the enthusiasm, and, you know, get out of the way. Look out, because, you know, the sky's the limit. And, you know, the door's open for anybody who is in that same boat and wants to take advantage. Kim, can you give us a little bit more information? You know, Jimmy said give him a call, but can you tell some folks how they might contact you directly?
For ATI,
Sure.
we have our Facebook page. A lot of people are on. We have our website, autotraining.net. If somebody wants to get information, they can email me directly at khickey@autotraining.net. They can talk to any of our members here. And I just want to point out that Fred and Jessica met AutoVitals and got involved with them at Super Conference. So kind of exciting. That's where a lot of people meet and hook up with you guys there. So we also have all over the country, probably 2 or 3 events a month that we do on the weekends that any shop owner is welcome to attend. And if they listen to everything that we talk about during the 8-hour course, they'll not only get AMI credits, but they should be able to improve their net profit anywhere from 5 to 8% just from the one-day event. So really great way to check out what we do, what's going on, and get actual actionable items to leave with and implement immediately at your shop to make a change.
Fantastic, thank you. So Fred and Jessica, tell us what's next. What's the next big hairy goal?
World.
You
We're
can
gonna
stay,
take it
Tom.
over.
You can stay, Tom.
See?
Go ahead. We're trying we're doubling our shop this year, doubling our size of our staff, our customer count. We're doing a lot of that stuff. And then as we go through the year and achieve that goal, because we're able to monitor constantly, and so far so well, we're going to look about halfway through the year and set a goal for 2020. We're going to keep a 1-year constant goal as to a staffing timeline, a budget, everything 1 year out. I have Kim to make sure that I do it, because she'll say to me in June, do you remember in March when you said you were going to do this and now you're not doing it? And that's what you need. So our goal is we're going for growth, Tom. We got all our processes, procedures, and service standards set up. What about for you, dear?
I am currently, since we do have our growth timeline set up, we have a timeline set up for staff. So currently we just hired a part-time CSR, and then we are actively looking for a service advisor, and I'm going to be putting that person in that spot to take my spot. You know, I need to get off that counter.
Struggle is real for everybody.
You know, we need to get that growth up there. So
No, that's fantastic. You know, and like I said, for anybody out there in the audience, listen in. You know, you want to be excited about the future, AutoVitals and ATI is the way to go. You heard it here. You heard it from Fred and Jessica, young shop owners, vision for the future, and they're going to go get it, and you can too. I want to thank you guys for coming on the show today. Kim, it was fantastic having you in there. Fred and Jessica, as always, you know, it's just always a pleasure to talk to you guys, and you know, your enthusiasm is very infectious. And like Jim said, I can't wait to see your round table, and you know, just really, you know, every day. I mean, I almost feel like, you know, I feel like Mama Hen there, and I just like to see how it nurtures and how it grows.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you. We'll see you at the vendor trade show.
Yeah,
You will come see me. But that's it for today. Tune in every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific. What is that? 1 o'clock Eastern. Live streaming on Facebook. If you want to come on the show, just reach out to us. You can always go to you know, the Digital Shop Talk radio website and get in touch with us there. And we'd love to have you on and hear your story also. And until then, have fun at Super Conference for all you ATI shops. If you're not, sign up and come out here next year. We'll see you here. And until then, eat your heart out if you're not here. Oh, yeah, eat your heart out if you're not here. That's Jim, right out from Jim Silverman. And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Thank you very much.